NKCS Art. In order to make your stylized Benton landscape, open up your module and scroll down and pick a picture that you would like to stylize. A picture of the school, castles, cactuses, cars, a couple other pictures. When you find the one that you would like to stylize on Sketchbook, what you're going to do is you're going to press your finger and hold down on the picture, and then you're going to choose Add to Photos. That way you can go into Sketchbook and import them with the photo tool that looks like little mountains at the top. So when you go into Sketchbook, go ahead and click on the picture of the mountains at the top, and you can choose the picture that you selected, and you can get it to fit in on your page. The car's a little bit hard just because of the shape of it, but I fit it on there the best I could. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the opacity by clicking on that layer and then lowering it for a little bit so that I can see my drawings. I'm going to raise it back to 100 later, but for now I just want it lower so I can see my lines as I trace. I'm going to choose black and add a new layer on top of that car because I want to draw on another paper. That way it's on a different layer in case I need to erase it or change something else. I won't mess up the car. Then I'm just going to take a black color and my technical pen or my Sharpie tool, and I'm just going to go through and try to trace all the details of the car. The little stripes here on the car are a little bit difficult, so they're not going to be exactly the same. But I'm just adding a lot of detail because the more detail, the more colors and different texture brushes you can use when you're making your car. Make sure that the lines touch when you're tracing because we're going to go back and fill this in. You can do it with your bucket tool, or you can use the magic wand tool that I'm going to use on my car because I want to add different textures to different parts of the cars in different colors. And the magic wand tool will allow me to select one closed area, use a special tool in that area like a texture tool, and then be able to click in a different area without it going out of the lines and then messing up a different part of the picture. Having a little bit of difficulty with this tire. If you ever mess up, just go to that back arrow at the top, the undo arrow, and it'll take away what you did. And then you can just fix it and move on. I try not to use the eraser tool too much, so whenever I make a mistake, I just go back right away and fix it. So again, I'm adding the most details I can. I trace the mirror, the window, and that way I can have a lot of cool colors and textures in my car. I'm going to want to stylize these trees in the back too, so I'm going to go ahead and trace those the best I can. They're a little bit difficult, but I just kind of trace what I see. And then later, I'm going to just use some, like the spray paint, and just kind of spray paint the trees different colors. Now, in order to stylize my car, I'm going to choose a color I want, and then I'm going to go up there to that tool at the top and choose the magic wand. You can play around with the tolerance. That'll decide how much of it actually highlights. When you click in the area that you want to color in, it'll have like a little tiny dotted line around that area showing you that's where you're going to be coloring. I'm going to choose a texture tool in the color I want and kind of play around with it. Get the size and stuff right. I had a little difficulty trying to decide what size I want with this tool. But you've got time to kind of play around with it and see what you think will work best. Then when you use that magic wand tool, if you tap inside of the area that you've selected, you can just paint that and it won't go out of the lines and mess up the rest of your car. I'm going to play around with this a little bit more. I think I'm going to lower the opacity. That makes it more see-through because at the end I'm going to make that car picture I'm tracing 100% opacity. That way you can kind of see through it. I want to see a little bit of the car through it on mine, not just the texture. So when I lower the opacity, it'll kind of blend them together at the end. So again, I'm just kind of going around, picking out tools I like, different texture tools, using that magic wand to highlight the area that I want to color. The thing with the magic wand tool is you need to choose the magic wand tool, select what you want to color, and then get your brush. Even if you're using the same brush, you have to open it back up, click on that brush again, and remind it you're using that brush for that area. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but if you're having trouble with it, that's probably why, because you need to keep selecting that tool each time you choose a different area. Again, I'm lowering the opacity. Right now I'm using the spray paint tool to kind of just fill in some solid color that's a little bit see-through on my car. And then for my trees, I'm going to use that same spray paint tool. You can use whatever tool you want. Just play around with the tools so you can make your picture look however you'd like to. This is just what I decided to do with mine. I'm going to make some crazy colors on my trees, and I made it see-through again so that you can kind of see the tree through it once I go back and raise the opacity on the car picture later. So I'm going to go kind of fill these in a little bit. And I think that's what I want. So I'm going to go back to the car, raise the opacity, and I have my finished picture. I'm going to add my name to it, and then hit done. And then I'm going to go up to the 3 lines in gallery and save my car, and then I'm going to submit it to Canvas.